think being a member of the band as well as a producer and engineer, mixing and mastering, so on and so forth, is a big challenge, but pretty awesome. Because as the drummer of the band, I couldn't do both. And watching my wife and child in the mixing room engineering and punching me in at spots was really interesting. And I don't know, it was really cool.
I think Eric and Sarah are both insanely inspiring people. They make you so comfortable, but they also give you a lot of insight on what to do before the recording process. And going in, I kind of already knew what I was doing, and I was extremely comfortable, so I don't think it was a challenge because we knew these songs, and we've been playing these songs for a while. Novro Studios, you just feel like you're at home. It doesn't matter, what if you mess up or anything, Eric's always going to be, suggesting things or saying, yeah, that sounds amazing. He's a really great producer, but he's also a really great friend as well to anyone who comes into a studio.
Everybody has their individual personality that is 90% of the time hilarious and very enjoyable to be around. Unless Gavin is driving. Then that scares the heck out of me.
Gavin under stress is the best Gavin. Or at least the funniest Gavin.
All right, Gavin. We're going to do this.
When I was asked to join the band, everything was pretty well put together and ready to be shipped off and to release and getting prepared for all of that. It was a little bit of a strange time to join because I had nothing to do with the writing process. I was just sort of residual. I was there to fill in for that missing void.
Like, yes, he's a great player, but like we wanted a good person. It was very easy to see that Gavin was a great guy right from the get-go.
Everybody just kind of had open arms, brought me in, and if I had questions about the songs or if I had any suggestions about media, and even them, asking for critiques and everything else, I think was a really important part of their ending process.
Great job. Noise, as always.
I think the writing process of this band is really cool because it feels like a true combination of everybody. A lot of what we wrote was written together in the room.
That's the way that we write, and I love that so much, and how we can all just sit down and we just, whatever we play, we can all collectively write something.
That sounds sick.
Bigger though.
Writing cohesively was basically a game changer for me because I hadn't done anything like that prior to. So coming into the writing sessions, knowing that like there would be occasions where we were just going to write a song and like leave with a tangible song that day it was totally different from my perspective. I hadn't experienced anything like that before, and that I think that was very unique.
Time passes by again. You'll be crawling back to a place that has left you frozen.
When it comes to writing the record, I did think about the imagery. I do love this black and white cinematography stuff that Eric's wife Sarah is doing in it, and it looks amazing, and it kind of just gets you in that mood, in that like melancholy style of writing.
I let myself to think
tend to write things with a very like formulaic type of brain. It's just who I am. It's the stuff I enjoy. But then Derek will come in and just throw like a curveball that I would have never even thought of, except all of a sudden that change suddenly gives the song like a whole different energy and a whole different uniqueness. If I give something to Eric, he's gonna rip it up in the best way. Like he's gonna be like, you gave me this body of work. I'm gonna rip it apart and kind of mash it up and create the same thing, but give it its own personality. It's nice knowing that if I come into like a writing session or a practice with an idea, that I know if I hand that idea off to you guys, it's going to take on a whole different life, and I love that.
If I was able to spend a week on drums alone, then it would be way more enjoyable. Not to say I didn't enjoy it, it's just kind of the nature of what it is. Like when you have more time to spend on it, it's more fun, at least for me, where you can be so meticulous with details. When you can just dive head first all the time rather than be like, well, time to keep moving.
Eric was kind enough to solo out the bass parts for me. Some of the stuff was written by a really talented bassist. Reese from Flying Formation did a song on the record, and that by far took the most time for me. But overall, it took about a week to get everything down, and I was excited to get in and start practicing with the guys. But the entire record is a lot of fun to play. I feel like I have a lot of freedom on stage with these guys. There's a lot of energy all the time. But as far as the record goes and the writing, all the technicality and all of their heads put together, it's perfect.
I think everybody is extremely creative. I think everybody is extremely talented in terms of like technical ability. And I don't think that's really specific. And I think the reason that this band is working so well, in my eyes, is because everybody has all of those qualities. I don't look at this band and go, well, Andrew's like the driven one, Derek's the creative one. Like, no, I see Derek's the creative one and the driven one. So is Andrew. Like, so is Gavin. Like, everybody in the band is super gung-ho, super creative, super, like, technically talented. And then the honorary fifth member of this band, my wife, who has such a skill set of making all of our content, designing all of our merch, designing all of our promo pictures, or taking all of our promo pictures, shooting and editing all the videos. Like, we have such an all hands on deck team that everybody is just always at full bore, and it's just working. It's working so well.
I have my solo music, but that's not what I want to do for a living. I want to be in a band, because when I'm in a band, I feel like we're doing it together. And Eric, Andrew, and Gavin, they all know what they want. Eric and Andrew are both, again, insanely inspirational on my life. Seeing that they're dads, but they're still achieving what they want to achieve. They're still going for their goals. It's just like, it inspires me a lot.
I think of myself as my role in this band like complementary to like the piano or like the rhythmic tracks or anything like that. At least with my writing brain, I don't look at the guitar right now as like this instrument that's meant to kind of poke out and stand out in regards to like our band. I just feel like that's not what we do.
I think everything was very calculated coming into the band. Everybody seemed to have a lot of motivation and work ethic. And I thought the sound coming from the record was something unique. Derek's at the front with the piano. There's different instruments involved. And the technicality is just top tier for the genre.
I've always wanted to play piano in a band, and I'm so thankful to have a group of such talented musicians to be behind me playing and create such a unique aspect of this group, because you don't really see a lead piano player in bands. It does create such a different sound and such a unique sound that no one's heard before. I never thought that we would bring the sax into the record. I grew up in a band with my brothers. I played the alto saxophone in the band. It was like a prog fusion band called Hybrid Sessions. Obviously, I played saxophone in high school growing up. I kind of stopped playing for a while. Andrew brought up the idea to put sax in one of our songs, and I'm so glad that we did, because I'm really happy to be playing that again.
It stemmed from here when we were doing a practice initially, and I remember I was noodling on like the acoustic guitar, and I had that like doodly diddly doodly diddly doodly diddly. Something about it that feels very like melodically in the vein of like classical music. I remember hearing Careless Whisper. I realized that they were in the same key. And then there was like a long period of working on the sax solo. How can we make this work? Is it too weird? It ended up becoming like just this monumental part of the record and the set. I think people genuinely get excited now when Derek's ripping out a saxophone.
That's the coolest thing ever with this like little jazz breakdown.
We got a jazz section now. We're calling it the jazz section. You just nailed the take. What are your thoughts?
I actually screwed that all up. As a whole, the record is so dynamic and different, and every song is different. That's the beauty of writing. I think that's my favorite part about writing, is those dynamics within each song and making it different, but keeping that same style. I've been listening to this album for a long time, almost every day. Every single time I listen to it, I tell myself, like, I'm extremely proud of it. Like, extremely proud of this record. And, you have those favorite records that you listen to and you're like, oh, this is my favorite song. But never mind, this is my favorite song now. So, being that I can do that with something that I created, and I'm extremely proud of it.
I think there was a lot of heart and soul and intelligent decision making, while also retaining like authenticity all into this record. So I think that's going to resonate with the audience regardless of the number of people that hear it. For me personally, I mean, that's all as an artist that you can want, for someone to hear something and be like, this doesn't sound like a regurgitated version of such and such. Like, this is a real cohesive piece of art. I want people to appreciate the fact that there was a lot of time and effort put into this record, and I think once people see that it's going to, I think it'll do well on its own.
I feel very confident in So Much Hope Buried. Just everybody in the band has such a sense of professionalism and work ethic. You'll never find them chasing trends. They're always embracing their authenticity.
I want the future of So Much Hope to be a legacy. I want it to establish a career. I don't want this band to be a quick kind of like blip in the timeline of life. I want this to be our future, to kind of be our forever, if you will.
I want to inspire people. I want my words to resonate with people, and I want to make this a living with my best friends.
I want to spend time making sure that when I'm dead, this record still holds a candle. Funny because of our imagery. But I want So Much Hope and the people in So Much Hope to be together for the long run. I want to develop a family.
song, baby.
So Novro Studios is the only place you can go to have a baby staring at you while tracking bass. That's right,
I'll,
but
like keep my focus on something.
supplies are limited.
Oh, okay. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm a little lover boy. Yes. Okay, I think we should cover that song.
I'm sure Stevie Ray Vaughan is not rolling in his grave.